about to start the Q&A, but before that I'm going to ask you a couple of things. There's a bunch of volunteers in the crowd with a microphone, so when I'm going to pick you up, then I'm going to bring the microphone, so don't start asking a question before you get the microphone. And also, Josh Whedon being such a prolific director, can you please focus your question on the movie we just seen? And now let me reintroduce to you, and welcome back on stage, the wonderful Josh Whedon.
Sure, I wanted to stay, but I did, and so did a lot of other people. So please welcome many of the cast.
Okay, so I guess let's go, right? There's one right here.
Yon picture of moving parts was the most glorious thing. Question, black and white. Why the choice for black and white versus color?
Black and white because I felt that it was very much a noir kind of text. It was there's a lot of darkness in it, and it wasn't just a simple comedy. It's more romantic, it's lusher, and then you, also you don't have to redecorate, and you don't have to worry about what people are wearing, and making your lights match the sun, and quite frankly, it's faster, but it's also incredibly beautiful. So a practical yet artistical moment. Love most of them were.
Okay, thank you. Next, right there.
So, truthfully, I actually stopped counting your name in the credits after a while, but I was shocked, this is for Joss, to see that you were involved in music as well for this movie. Unless I'm mistaken, this is your first foray into that side of it, and I'm just wondering how long that's been a passion and why you decided to make the jump for this movie.
I'm as shocked as you are. I had hired someone who got busy, and I just thought, well, when am I ever going to have this opportunity again? And then, I was so far out of my league, and I was so terrified, and I kept, Danny, there he is, over there, my associate and co-editor of the movie, Danny Kaminsky, he set me up and basically pushed me and said, get it done, get it done. And I finally just dove in. I wanted to forever because I want everybody's job. They won't let me play Beatrice. I think we can all agree that was a good call.
Actually, I do have a question, if I may. Thank you. It's such a wonderful cast, and I wanted to ask you guys, do you have any particular story on the set or a favorite scene that you want to share with us?
And the whole movie was kind of a big story. Does anyone have a particular thing? I mean, favorite scene is hard to say too. The party was kind of amazing because all of the people were there and everybody just watching the trapeze act, and that was all really happening, and it was a real party, and there were real drunk people. That can be challenging. It's like working with children and animals.
Gosh, favorite scene. That is hard to pick, really. But I don't. What's that?
The push-up.
The push-up. No, I do remember having that thought about those, and I think we'd already rehearsed the scene more or less, and I sort of went, oh, Josh, one thing I think I want to try. And it was either the last rehearsal or the first take, and I just remember looking over at some point and catching him, and he was like this. Okay, Alexis. Okay. But the whole thing was a joy. I mean, to work with these people on this material with him, that's a dream come true. So and now to get to share it with you guys, that too is a dream for us. So thank you.
I think I have so many favorite moments, but today I'll choose my moment as I'm obsessed with his duck and cover scene. And his move when he is like a toddler being put into a car seat and arching in the back. I just love that. But that's my favorite today. And it was just awesome. Last night I said that this was like going to theater camp, and I still mean it. You're my camp buddies. I love you all. Massage train later.
I would say every scene that I had with Nathan was probably my favorite scene. I think you probably all agree with that he was amazing. Absolutely. Josh really kind of, arm wrestled him into doing this. I think he really tried to get out of it. Like he's like, oh, I got Castle, and I got this meeting, and I don't know who Bill Shakespeare is. And he slayed it. He was brilliant. So those are my favorite.
I do have to say though, the If I Were a Man scene, we were bawling behind the camera. I saw a sound guy crying when they were filming it. The other thing is just the dance parties that happened in the movie and continue to happen every time any of us are together, even last night, maybe right now. We love dancing.
Yeah, there was a lot of dancing on this film, so I would say the big party scenes, just watching everyone work was really inspiring. It was a really talented group of people.
I think my favorite scene for me was diving into the pool. That was me. And then my favorite scene, I think, in the movie was the party scene, because I think it captures the whole feeling of the movie and what it was like to be there. So you're sort of all there because you get to watch the
Gosh. I always say my favorite moment shooting this movie was when Joss told me that I was such a dick. It's truly moved me to no end. I'm so flattered. But I think everyone keeps talking about the party scene. I think when I was doing the movie and talking to friends about the experience and family, what have you, it was remarkable to be in their backyard and to look around, and as you all saw, the Cirque du Soleil performers in the tree who just happened to be friends with Kai and Joss, who showed up to do a movie, and it was just wall to wall people who wanted to be there because it was such a labor of love. This project that was so full of passion. Everyone showed up with 150%. I remember it was that night that I turned around and it was just packed. Their backyard was packed with all these people who just showed up. They just showed up because they were asked to, and everybody wanted to be there. And it was, who else? But at the end, this lovely lady here who could just say, "Hey, come on, we're gonna throw this movie together."
I have a few favorite moments in the film. Of course, that If I Were a Man scene between you guys is just incredible. And I kind of want you guys to be a couple in real life after watching this. And I think my favorite scene in the whole movie is pretty much anything with Nathan and Tom. But the interrogation scene. And I love the moment when they're looking for keys. I feel like looking for your your keys and Shakespeare is really funny together. Like, ah, where did I? Yeah. Okay.
I had just spent 5 months with Joss assembling a different dysfunctional family. As a fan of the Whedonverse and all its components and the many amazing performers that are in it, I was incredibly excited to get a chance to work with these people who I'd been admiring and to feel that I might get through this story without being impaled.
When you ask the question of what my favorite scene is, I think about my experience with Shakespeare is that there are so many scenes that when I watch Shakespeare, that I'm just like, let's get through this scene. And let's get on to Beatrice and Benedict. And it's such a testament to Joss and to this cast and the cinematography that, like, I love every scene. Like, every scene is realized to its fullest extent. Nathan and I were talking about this last night, but like, Joss will give you the secret of the scene. You're like, oh, I think the scene is about this. And you're like, oh yeah, and now suddenly I look like a genius. So, they're all my favorite scenes.
I'm Jay, the cinematographer. Favorite scene was, there's so many great moments, but I was inspired, the scene with Reed and Fran where you're proposing the ridiculous scheme at the party, and Fran is just sort of reacting to you, just kind of wide-eyed, like, are you kidding me? You're really going to dress up like me? And there's something about that moment that's hilarious. I really like that one.
Thank you. Over there, sorry.
Now I've heard
it was not you, I promise. I'm sorry.
Well, it is the comedy of errors. Thanks. Anyways, it was a pleasure. It was a great movie. Was wondering about the casting process of the movie. Were you able to get everyone you wanted in the Whedon universe, as was mentioned earlier, or was that something you wished?
No, this is really the B team. Honestly, it was a dead heat with you and Armin Sherman, but yes, that was one of the joys of this thing. Was we had read it. These two had read The Lovers before, and I knew that they were going to star in it. If I had to blackmail them, which I did, and then nobody said no. And everybody that I asked and wanted, I got. There was only with Clark. Clark couldn't do it because he had another obligation, and somebody else was going to do it, and then he fell out, and then somebody else was going to do it, and then he fell out. And finally, I called Clark 2 days before we started. I was like, "You still have that thing?" I believe this guy's words were, "You got to be fucking kidding me." And 90 minutes later, he was at my house with a spring in his hand. So yes, this is exactly what I wanted. I would not change a thing. I couldn't be more proud of this ensemble, and I worked with you.
Thank you, and sorry about that. I read that this was a vacation movie that you directed after doing The Avengers. Now, are you planning on any Shakespearean vacations? Or which ones are you...
I don't think I have a vacation slated for another 3 years. Honestly, I would love to do another. I would use the exact same people. I would do the whole thing exactly. Use the same place. And part of me is like, never go near this again, because nothing could ever be this good again. So I have no idea, but Hamlet.
Okay, I got one here and one here, so ladies first, go.
I just wondered what you think, why you think we're still obsessed with Shakespeare this day and age? Like, why are we still making movies using his words?
I think he wrote the best words, and I think you know, he really invented so much of what we take for granted as the modern vernacular of storytelling. I mean, this is every romantic comedy that has been made since, and a lot of TV shows. And you know, he took formulas that existed but infused them with so much humanity and contradiction and confusion, and played every genre all the time, and was never afraid to be broad, never afraid to be sad, never afraid